Hi everyone, Gary Coleshill here, and yes, you are in the right place. We're going to be speaking today about how to go to college without going broke. Pretty good stuff, eh? And we are very lucky to have Scott Rulon, a well-known in the community CPA in Scottsdale, Arizona, who specializes in helping people send their kids to college, helps them navigate the minefield of student loans and student applications and all that good stuff. So, without much further ado, I'd like to introduce you to Scott. So, Scott, you have the floor. Take it away.
Thank you so much, Gary. It's so happy to be with you today. I'm proud to say that Gary and I both have college graduates, and we used some great planning to send them to college. So again, let's just get to the heart of the matter. How to pay for college without going broke. Did any of you think that you had to pay retail for college? Well, in fact, you were actually dead wrong. You don't have to pay retail for college. For those that know how to negotiate, we can pay for college for wholesale, or sometimes we can pay for college for free. Who likes that? Do you like that, Gary?
I do indeed. Free is my favorite price.
Free is my favorite price too. So happy you could be here today. So we want to reach out to all the parents, the guardians, even those grandparents that put away a little bit of money for Johnny or Sue or their favorite student to go to college. And this is also for the kids who may not have a lot of money and have pie in the sky dreams, and they want to go to college too, but they just don't understand how they're going to pay for it. So sometimes I like to ask people, good are you at negotiating with $100 million or $1 billion institution? Well, guess what? I've done it hundreds of times, and I can help you do it too. So that should be pretty exciting stuff. So let me tell you a little story here. And so this one is actually about Gary. So Gary and I were
It is.
sitting down one day and we were talking about his younger son going to college. We'll not mention his name here, but he is quite the entrepreneur and loves sports, loves working in restaurants, and has done very well for himself so far. So as Gary and I were sitting down one day, I asked Gary the question, have you filed your FAFSA form? And what did you say, Gary?
what what is it?
Exactly. What is it? You know, the number one mistake for finding college aid is not filling out your FAFSA form. And for those of you that have been watching the TV and the radio and stuff, you know that the FAFSA and college funding was just an absolute nightmare. In fact, the guy that was the government head of FAFSA and this part of the education form, he actually had to resign because they didn't even get the FAFSA numbers to people till well into May. And Gary, do you happen to know when most college deadlines are?
I think they are May, aren't
They're May 1st.
they? Yeah.
So people didn't even know how much the money they were going to get before the deadline for college. So that was a pretty big screw up. And I will say, having done some of the FAFSA forms this year, it was just crazy the way that they did this thing. And then they sent everybody these letters saying that there were errors on their form, which means their software wasn't doing the right stuff in the background. So hopefully everybody that wanted to get into college got in this year. I helped a couple people get into some pretty elite institutions this year. And guess what? They got to go to Harvard for the price of ASU. What do you think about that?
That would be nice indeed. No disrespect to ASU, it's a good school, but
No.
Harvard is probably better.
Yeah, I mean, but certainly as we look at ASU, don't forget ASU is on the cutting edge. I mean, they have a very specialized program to teach engineers how to go into the manufacturing sector.
Well,
Um,
they make
and
Mars
actually,
rovers too. Apparently, didn't NASA use them for rovers on Mars? think
Well,
they do.
absolutely. So ASU is certainly on the cutting edge of some of those things as well. So we're not saying that ASU is a bad place to go,
Not at
but
all.
we're saying it is possible to go to a Harvard or a Yale or a Princeton or a Colgate for the price that you can go to ASU. Want to know how? Well, I think you'll need to tune in to our coaching that we're going to be doing over the next 6 weeks, and you too can learn how. So, Gary, what are some other ways to pay for college that you know of?
I know the Pell Grant's pretty useful, let's say, and fairly easy to get. I think. Am I correct in that?
Yeah, so if your income, and I believe is less than $60,000 or less, you can be eligible for up to, drum roll please, I believe it's now about $7,000.
Yeah,
And
and that's a grant. So you, correct me if I'm wrong. You don't have to pay that back. So
absolutely.
that
So
is
grant
free
is a great
money.
thing. It's free money.
Free money's good.
Who doesn't want free money?
I'd
So
like
of
some
course
now.
they don't give that money to you. What they do is they give that to the school directly. So they split it off into two halves for the fall semester and the spring semester and pay it directly to the college. So that certainly reduces the amount of tuition you have to pay. So that's a good thing. Hey, Gary, ever heard of a tax scholarship?
Uh, no, don't believe I have.
Well, this is another way you can help pay for college for doing just filing your tax return. How would you like to get a scholarship for filing your tax return, Gary?
Well, seeing as I have to file a tax return anyway, yeah, that's fine. I'll take it.
Well, absolutely. This one is literally a no-brainer. And guess what? It's worth a few $1,000s.
Right. Okay.
And this is one of those things that we call a refundable credit. Refundable credit means you get the money back. Now that's exciting. So there's two kinds of tax scholarships. In a further session, we'll go into more about them, but one's called the Lifetime Learning Credit, and the other is called the American Opportunity Credit. So those are two different ways we can do that. But let me tell you another type of kind of tax scholarship. Um, Gary, have you ever worked with any small business people?
Frequently.
Absolutely. And you know, one of the things that they always want to be able to do is retain their employees, right?
Right.
I mean, it's a very competitive job market today. Did you know that an employer can give, I believe it's still up to $5,000 as a fringe benefit to their employee?
Oh, really? I didn't know realize that. No.
By the way, this is a tax-free fringe benefit to the employee. They can use that money. In fact, they have to use that money to go to college.
Right.
So it can either be for the employee or for those that are more forward thinking, that money might be able to use for the kids as well.
Right.
Um, what else can the government do? You know what? Um, Gary, do you know anybody in the military?
Personally, no, I don't actually.
Okay. Well, for those that have parents that are in the military, there's something called the GI Bill, and as long as their parents are in the military, they can grab those GI benefits and transfer them to their children as a way to go to college.
Okay. I know that
That,
the military also will pay towards college if you enlist at some point too, won't they?
yeah, and that's what's known as the GI Bill.
That is your okay. Yeah, I have heard of that in that case. Yeah.
So it's a way a lot of the veterans coming back from World War II actually got up to speed with whatever the new technologies were at the time, so they could go out and get a job and support America. I mean, it was very, very nationalistic thing. And guess what? There was a double benefit. Not only did the country benefit from a lot of stability, but the GIs benefited from the fact that they got their tuition paid. I personally know several people after World War II that cashed in their GI benefits to get some training. And, you know, they started businesses with it. So that's pretty exciting. Well, I'm going to ask you another question, Gary, and
Gee, thanks.
if you can tell me the answer to this. What do the following have in common? HELOC, Stafford, Perkins, and Parent Plus.
Well, HELOC is, I know what that is. That's basically borrowing money against your house,
Okay.
like in a form of a second mortgage kind of deal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Stafford loan, I think, is that a private? Is it a private loan for college?
It's actually a government loan.
Oh, it is. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And what was the other one?
Perkins.
Perkins. I don't know. I don't recall that.
Well, it's another type of government loan as well. And the last one is called Parent Plus.
Parent Plus. Yeah.
So in the end, what do all five of those things have in common?
They'll give you money.
They're all loans.
Well, yeah. There you go. They give you money. Yeah.
They're all loans, and they're all ways that parents can actually help pay for college.
Right.
So if you're going for a HELOC or a home equity loan, which is obviously borrowing against your house, there are a lot of parents that will go out and just borrow the equity from their house and use that to pay for college. So that's certainly one way to do it. And many times, if you do that because of the great security of the house, you might be able to get a lower interest rate. So that's pretty cool.
Right.
The
Yeah.
Stafford loan, um, for that's a government loan. And guess what you have to fill out to get a Stafford loan, Gary?
Probably a FAFSA form.
You got it. So you've got to fill out a FAFSA form, and the government will tell you how much money you are eligible for. Well, really more specifically, they'll tell you how much is subsidized and how much is non-subsidized.
Right.
So subsidized means the government pays the interest for you until you get out of school. Non-subsidized means the interest is accruing while you're in school and you have to start paying it 6 months after you get out. Which one do you think you get more of? Non-subsidized or subsidized?
Non-subsidized, I would think.
I think that's probably true in most cases, but if you want the real answer, Gary,
Right.
you need to tune into our college coaching sessions and find out more about that to see what kind of loan is better
I'll
for
have to
you.
do that. Okay.
Absolutely. And you know, you have to take some education for that. So every child has to go to the FAFSA site and they have to sign something called a master promissory note. That's so the kid understands that they're responsible for repaying this loan. So in a way, this is like another form of taxation if you really think about it, because the government is charging you interest, and so the government is earning money on loaning your child money.
Right. Well, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we've got these things called Parent Plus loans. The good or the bad of Parent Plus loans is, guess what, Mom and Dad? You have to co-sign on those.
Yeah. Yeah. That's can be kind of scary. I did that on my older son's loans. Yeah. And kind of had to grit my teeth and hope that he paid them back, which he did, to be fair. But it's it's a little bit nerve-wracking
And
because
so,
you are on the hook for that.
but was it a good investment in the end, Gary?
Absolutely, absolutely. He's done very well indeed. Yeah. So
Yep. For
and
those of you who don't
he's
know,
paid them back. So
absolutely. So for those of you that don't know, Gary's son works in the television and film industry, so he's done very well. He's an editor there. I won't give you his name because I'm afraid too many people would call him. But
they're calling for advice on how to get in the business. Yeah, yeah, he hates that.
but he's done very well for himself. You would certainly recognize some of the programs that he's edited, and so we'll
Yeah,
just leave that at that.
yeah,
That's
without doubt.
probably pretty good.
But it was a good
So
investment. You're right. Absolutely.
absolutely. And so just remember on some government loans, mom and dad don't have to sign off on them. On other ones, they do. And so if you get a government loan, like at Perkins or Stafford, the kid has to pay it back and you have no responsibility for that. If it's Parent Plus loan, you have to sign on the dotted line, and guess when the first payment's due?
Straight away, I think.
Straight away.
Yeah.
And so,
I think I remember that from
um,
experience. Yeah.
yeah, you want to see a parent get in trouble fast, especially if they have multiple kids.
Oh
Ooh,
yeah, absolutely.
signing up for too many Parent Plus loans.
Yep,
We gotta be careful with stuff like that. So,
absolutely.
Gary, what percentage of college aid do you actually think comes from scholarships?
Um, Probably not that much, I wouldn't think. 10%?
Actually, it's even less than that, believe it
Is
or
it?
not. It's close to like 3 or 4%.
Okay, that's fairly negligible, yeah.
Yeah, but I will tell you that there are a lot of $500 to $1,000 college scholarships. And so one of the things I would tell you while your student is in high school, if you don't have them go out and get a job, which many of us had to do, um, the other thing you can do is we have a particular website that you can sign up for. And what do you think the price of that website is?
Free?
It's absolutely free. Now, we're not going to tell you what it is today because that's one of the things we teach in our coaching. We teach you the right website to go to get to find out about free college scholarships. And so I can tell you if your son or daughter is willing to spend 30 to 40 minutes and probably fill out applications for, I don't know, 50 to 100 different scholarships, I will bet some of those will come his or her way. That's an exciting thing. So if they don't want to go to work with the job, tell them to go to work to get a scholarship.
Right.
I always thought it was a good idea to kind of be in partnership with your kids. In fact, so I had a session with my son a long time ago, and we sat down and I showed him the price of this terrifically expensive aviation college in Arizona. And I showed him, hey, so here's how much money you would borrow. And then I said, but here's how much you would pay back. And so my kid's a math student. So he looks at that and said, Dad, that's double. He said, what's that extra bit? And you know what I called it? I called it rent. That's the rent you have to pay the government for borrowing money. It's called interest. So that's certainly an interesting story. One of the things you probably ought to recognize about some of these scholarship sites is not all of them are free. In fact, most of them are not free. So if you want to learn about the free one, you should certainly tune in when we start our coaching curriculum to learn about the free site, because you're going to find out when your student becomes like a late sophomore, junior, or senior in high school, all of a sudden you start getting these things in the mail called the National Association this or the American Association of that, saying for only X number of dollars, we can guarantee a scholarship. Guess what that is, Gary?
I'd say it's probably a scam.
It's a scam.
I had a lot of those actually when my kids were, you're quite right, coming towards the end of high school. Yeah, and they did always have grandiose names as well. The
Absolutely.
like,
So,
yeah, I won't name any, but they sounded kind of fancy schmancy. And they
and
had
they
very
and they
very
all
nice.
do.
Yeah, and they had when they send you a letter, they got very nice letterhead. Everything looks very,
Absolutely.
yeah, very grand looking.
And so there are certainly other ways to pay for college. Some of us will want to invest our dollars early for our student to go to college. And so, do you want to know what my favorite investment is for college?
Annuities, I would think.
Well, guess what? I'm not going to tell you today because because if you don't tune in, I cannot tell you which investments do not fall afoul of the FAFSA. So I can tell you the most popular investments for college are, you've probably heard of these 529 plans. You've heard of educational IRAs. I think you just mentioned one, which is called annuities.
Right.
There's something I like to call the miracle contract. That's a beautiful way to go to college, and it doesn't run afoul of FAFSA application. And guess what? You could also use Roth IRAs.
Right.
Why wouldn't you want your money to grow tax deferred? Because I know I think these days it's right around the first $10,000 that you pull out of your Roth IRA to go to college is tax free. And
It's
Roths are pretty much tax free anyway, but there's some special exceptions there. Other things I can tell you about, there's some FAFSA secrets. And let me tell you, if you don't listen to this just to find out the FAFSA secrets, you're a fool, because you will be losing thousands of dollars by not knowing these special tricks on the FAFSA form before you fill them out. I've had people fill out the FAFSA wrong, and guess what? It has cost them thousands and thousands of dollars. Other ways to pay for college, we have work study. So work study is a special program at a college or university. If you do work study, you do not get whacked on the FAFSA form for having a job. If you do a job off campus, that counts against you in terms of FAFSA, because the colleges expect 21% of that work to go towards college tuition. Got to be really careful with that. Do you also know in investments how to hold your investments in the right way, so your child doesn't get whacked for college? So, and the last one we're going to talk about later on is who gets to claim the students. With such a high divorce rate today and parents living apart, who gets to claim the kid? Guess what? We're going to discuss that in the weeks to come for those that choose to sign up for our program. So Gary, I think we've whetted their appetite plenty here. Why don't I let you take it over for a very special presentation and offer?
certainly. Well, between the two of us, we've come up with a great plan for you to achieve your goals and be advised by Scott on how to navigate this total minefield that we call college applications. And I'm going to switch screens and show you what it is. So bear with me a minute, because I might mess this up. Let's go here. Where are we now? Bear with me. Talk amongst yourselves for a minute. In a second, can we get this screen share right? It's going to cut yours off, Scott.
Okay.
I think. Here we go. Okay. Now, let's see if that works. Can you see? Oh, golly, it's disappeared again.
I saw it there for just a second.
There you go. We have it. Now, here is the offer, and as it says on the screen with a smiley face, it's a great one. I think you're going to like this. So let's just run through it quickly, and then you can decide if you want to proceed. So basically, we call this the College Planning Academy. It's 4 live online training sessions with Mr. Scott Rulon, who is a college planning specialist, as I think you probably guessed already. And the 4 sessions comprise of, number 1, what do you need to succeed? That's the first session that gets you all set up and gets your ducks in a row for your application, normally a $747 value. Session number 2, how to complete the FAFSA. I can't even say it. So I certainly couldn't complete the form. But Scott knows how to do it, and that's a 747 value. Number 3 is how to find the right college for you. Again, a $747 value. Session number 4 is navigating the college loan minefield. I think you've got some taste here of how complicated that is. And again, a 747 value. Plus, Scott's going to throw in a free bonus session, which is a one-on-one consultation with himself, which is a $9.97 value. Now, if you do the math on this, that's a total value of $3,228. And the sessions will be held every 2 weeks. They're available on Zoom, live on Zoom, but they also will be recorded. So if you miss any, you can always get the recording. So now, on to the next screen here. Here's the kicker. You can save over $2,000 by acting right now. And I'm talking today until 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is about 4.5 hours. You can get the whole program for just $997, but there's more. Again, as we've just gone through, we're doing the whole 4 sessions with Scott live via Zoom, 2 weeks apart, all recorded, and you get the free bonus session as well, your one-on-one consultation for Scott. And instead of $3,228, we're looking now at just $997 until 8 p.m. Pacific tonight. Now, how do you do it? What's the next step? Well, what you do is go here to a special link. I think you can click on the screen actually, and you should be able to go there. There's either one payment of $997, and you have to go to tinyurl.com/college in full. Again, tinyurl.com/college in full. Or we have a payment plan, which is you can register here with the link, or again, go to tinyurl.com/college in 4. And that's for 4 monthly payments of $267 instead of the one-time payment of $997. So that's basically it. We have a 7-day money-back guarantee. If you have any questions, my number is on the screen. I'm Gary Coleshill with Coleshill & Associates, and you can reach me on 888-894-2929. So if you want to save $2,000, go to that link right now and register for the program. There's a 7-day money-back guarantee anyway. If you want to do the payment plan, 4 monthly payments of $267 at tinyurl.com/college in 4. So don't delay, act today. And Scott, do you have any final closing comments you'd like to make?
Certainly, Gary. I would urge everybody to sign up now. Let us teach you how to save thousands of dollars and learn how to pay wholesale for college and not retail.
I think we may have lost him there. Okay, not to worry. That is it. If you'd like to get enrolled in the plan here, the program for the College Planning Academy, go to one of these 2 links. If you have any questions, feel free to give me a call on 888-894-2929. And again, thank you very much, everyone, for being here today. And thank you, Scott. I think somehow we've lost you, but
no, I'm still here.
Good. You'll be finished, I guess. Anyway, thanks, everyone, and bye for now.